Remember a few weeks ago when we showed you an amazing exchange in the U.S. Congress? John Kerry, the U.S. Secretary of State who spent years negotiating a nuclear deal with Iran, admitted that he didn't have copies of all the side deals, and he hadn't even read them. He was simply briefed by someone else who read them about what they stood for. Here, take a look.
Secretary Rice said that she has seen this deal with the IAEA and that it will be shared with Congress. So if she's seen it, have you seen it?
I don't believe that Susan Rice, National Security Advisor, has seen it. I think she
said she did 6 days ago. She said 6 days ago she had seen it and
reviewed
it, and that Congress will get to see it in a classified section. My question is, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I've been briefed on it,
but you haven't read it. You haven't seen it. Let me ask you
this. We
this.
don't possess it. It's in the possession of the IAEA.
Are you going to read it?
We don't have access to the actual agreement.
Imagine that, the U.S. Secretary of State not even being allowed to have a copy of the whole deal, or even to read it for himself, and yet signing that deal sight unseen and trying to convince America and the world that it's a good deal. Have you ever even heard of a negotiation like that before? Would you sign a deal for a house, or even a car, or even a cell phone contract if there was a secret side deal that you weren't allowed to see first? And here's the Secretary of State actually trying to sell this deal that he hasn't even read. Oh well, it's only about Iran building nuclear weapons, no biggie. Well, check this out. Check out this story from the Associated Press. Not exactly a right-wing media company. Here's the headline: UN to let Iran inspect alleged nuke work sites. As in the United Nations will let Iran inspect itself. Here, let me quote from the story. Iran will be allowed to use its own inspectors to investigate a site it has been accused of using to develop nuclear arms, operating under a secret agreement with the UN agency that normally carries out such work, according to a document seen by the Associated Press. Now, the news is insane, but it's also insane that we're learning about this news through a reporter getting a quick secret glance at a secret document. Why isn't the treaty known to both parties, known to the world? Why do we even have to rely on a leak like this? How could a nuclear deal be secret? But even secret from the United States that supposedly negotiated it. This report caused all sorts of skepticism and people who were critical of the deal to begin with to point to it as proof that Obama gave everything away. We already know he did. He's given things away in every foreign policy negotiation he's done, from letting Russia into Ukraine, to backing down from Syria's Bashar Assad, to frittering away American victories in Iraq and Afghanistan, to strengthening ties with Cuba with no civil rights reforms on their part. Obama's just a foreign policy disaster. But listen to Nancy Pelosi, the U.S. House Leader for the Democrats. In response to this news, she said, quote, "I truly believe in this agreement," unquote. She truly believes in an agreement that she has not seen. This part of the deal was negotiated directly between the UN's Atomic Energy Agency and Iran. America actually wasn't even allowed into those sessions, hasn't even been given a copy of it. But Obama is going to agree to it, and Nancy Pelosi believes in it, and John Kerry is selling it. Let me give you more details. Look, there's this Iranian nuclear site called Partisan. It's long been suspected of being a nuclear weapons facility. Part of the deal with Iran was to have Iran disclose all of its military nuclear facilities. But Iran has said, and the UN has agreed, that Iran can inspect its own Iranian nuclear site, and Iran will report to the UN whether or not Iran has broken the treaty. Iran will inspect Iran, not even UN inspectors, let alone American inspectors. Iran will inspect itself. Oh, no, officer, no need to pull me over for speeding. I've been keeping a good eye on my speedometer. Don't you worry, officer. If I ever speed, I'll catch myself speeding and turn myself in, okay? Look, plenty of times Obama has been cheering for the wrong team in foreign affairs, Cuba, Russia, China, but by pushing this deal that he hasn't even fully read onto the United States, well, now he's actually playing for the other team. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.